Good morning. You see, I have company this morning. All right. This is Emily Craig, and it is Monday, Veterans Day in 2019. And some thoughts came to me I wanted to share with you because there's so much dialogue and back and forth about faith and submission and devotion, and if you're a God-fearing person, how do you behave and how do you act and what do you do? Right. You know, I've been in a lot of churches and I enjoy them. But after a while, for me, they get boring because I'm kind of analytical and I want to get in between the lines and figure things out. Okay, so this morning I figured something out that hadn't occurred to me before, and this is the way things come to me. All right. And it's about attention and how it is that our children are unwilling to attend to serious thinking these days. Our children are bombarded with information. They get arcane and abstract information at school. They get it off the TV. They get it off the video games. They get it off their cell phones. And they're so bombarded, they're going like this. They don't want elders to bother them with anything else. All right. And so for those of us who have taken faith seriously, who've looked into it, and who have a relationship with God, with Jesus Christ, who open to the Holy Spirit. Some of us pray to saints, Mary, and some of the other saints. Okay, our relationship with the spiritual dimension is very important. But I don't hear that discussed much. And so today it came to me a way to talk about vigilance in terms of our mental processes. Now, let's back away, put that on over here, and let's think about some other things. I don't have anybody to help me here, so I had to go out and buy this computer myself and set it up myself and set up the antivirus and keep the antivirus going. And it takes a lot of attention and a lot of vigilance to tread water in this computer milieu and keep this computer operative. You ever notice that? All right. Put that aside. I have been about umpteen pounds overweight since I gave birth to my youngest child 33 years ago. Okay? And keeping my weight down is a constant battle, and I have to be vigilant about that every single day, about what I'm eating and what I'm not eating, and my exercise and this and that. I have to be vigilant about my weight to keep my weight from soaring. I have to be vigilant about that. Okay, we'll put that aside. I find in conversing with different generations, and my children fall into several generations. Okay, the eldest were born in the 60s, and then one in the 70s and two in the 80s. And so I'm talking to my children who are from their mid-50s down to their mid-30s. And what I find is I have to be very vigilant about the language I use and the vocabulary I have, because they don't understand the vocabulary that I got 60 years ago. I have to be vigilant about that. You see where this is going? Vigilance is a framework in which each new thought, each new experience has to be passed through a filter to see how it stacks up with experience, with common sense, with doctrine, with practice, and in relationship. Every thought has to be examined to see if it's going to work. Is this new thought going to work? Or is this thought going to overturn or distract or impede or revert to a thought that we used to have that didn't work? That's where this goes, is the question that I'm going to ask you. What thoughts are you rehearsing? Are you rehearsing your anger? Are you rehearsing what happened that made you mad yesterday? You know, that does have at least one good outcome. You're energized by anger. Okay. You're energized by hatred. You're energized by being righter than somebody else. Okay. We know that. But if you step back from hatred, anger, and the need to be righter, and you're just being in the world, a soul, and you don't need the energy of hatred, discrimination, anger, or any of that, then the thoughts that you choose actually steer your practices. And so if you're rehearsing anger, fear, if fear's different, if you're rehearsing anger and hatred, your behaviors are going to follow a pattern of bringing anger and hatred back to you. This is why cursing brings a curse upon the person who curses, because you're sending out a wish and expectation for ill will, and it's going to come back to you. All right. And so the thoughts that you rehearse become your archetypical pattern of behavior that is coming back to you. If you are rehearsing understanding and learning and growing and progressing and gaining knowledge and mastering and practicing and attaining and encompassing the understanding of something or other, your behaviors are very different from a situation where you're rehearsing your regrets, you're rehearsing your guilt, you're rehearsing your fears. Okay, see what I'm saying? It's all in your mind, what you create with your expectations. All right, and vigilance is the process of keeping your mind where you want it. Okay, because your mind is the editor. Your mind is the editor to decide which feelings are valid and appropriate, and which feelings, okay, they're valid, but I can't deal with them right now. We got to put them over here until I learn how to deal with them. Okay, this is not psychobabble. I'm not speaking in psychological terms or in psychiatric terms, but just in common sense terms. And that's what I do. That's what I like to do. So that's been my thought for this Monday morning. And I hope it is useful to you. Let me know in the comments below. Subscribe, hit the notification bell, and I'll be happy to see you tomorrow or some other day. Bye-bye.